Meow. This fearless caddis is the raddest, has skills of the baddest, magic,
Slinging busting
full
guns.
status, practically unmatched, runs all of the gamut, in fact,
He's a reference
games
guy.
and chatting, bent wizardly hatting, questing, snacking, napping, this
Cat diversified.
witty banter, seeking kitty answers, roll 20 to scamper, tune in,
And enjoy the ride.
Brainy, the RPG cat. Brainy, the RPG cat.
Brainy the cat. Brainy the RPG cat. It's a kitty cat.
Hello, cats and kittens, felines and felidae, humans and variant humans, and every race, class, and subclass. Welcome to another episode of Brainy the RPG Cat. Of course, I'm Brainy, and tonight we're doing CardCatter Brainy. We're doing an unboxing of several TCG sets that I have managed to purchase since I have in just kind of the past few weeks, and well, you know, they're really good and they're really pretty and stuff like that. So I've just got a grab bag of different kinds of cards this week. I've got a Yu-Gi-Oh structure deck. I've got a couple of star decks for One Piece, and I have a collector's box of Pokemon. And to top it all off, we are going to be opening up a set of Hololive boosters. There's a Hololive booster pack that goes along with the Weiss Schwartz game, and so we've already had some experience with the Weiss Schwartz game. We kind of did a slapdash review of it last time. We can do a slightly better job of it this time. Is that, you know, we're gonna show the proper intro videos and just introduce everybody as best we possibly can to this new game and to, you know, anybody who actually might be interested in Hololive. So, Devin in the chat is saying, you got it? Yeah, I got it. You know, I was compelled to buy it, and therefore I bought it. So, thank you everybody once again for tuning in. So, in addition to all of our other usual sponsors, tonight's stream is brought to you by All Seas Collectibles. Like All Seas Collectibles on Facebook for great talk about collectibles, be notified of special events, and watch the weekly podcast. So, in all honesty, All Seas Collectibles is very, very proud of its Facebook page. Has a lot of great interactivity in addition to all of that. They do a podcast once a week on Thursday at about 4:20 p.m. So be sure to go ahead and check that out at any time. But we'll have plenty of time to talk about that. In the meantime, let's go ahead and let's get over and let's start talking about all of the shiny new cards that I have. This is CardCatter Brainy. Alright. So, I've put up my, just to have a slightly different background, I put up my Yu-Gi-Oh! Playmat right here. And so, the thing is that it's so wide is that I can't get it in the entirety of the capture, so just really just about as nice as it possibly get. This was a, this was a printout. Just one of those automatic print jobs that they regularly do at Amazon. But it's a nice enough picture. Just really doesn't even have the straw hats on it, but it has all of their weapons. Frankie, just in the shot is Frankie's soda bottle, I have Brooks' cane, Zoro's swords, and Luffy's straw hat. So yeah, it looks pretty good anyway. Alright, so as I was saying before, okay, so this is the White Schwartz Hollow Live pack, and so these are packs of individual booster cards. So far the only starter deck I found was the one that we reviewed previously for Avatar: The Last Airbender, and so they say that this is actually a Series 2. Well, first edition, English, and then version 2. So it's even that, there's not only is there like a HoloLive trading card set out in the wild, but there's also one that precedes this. This is how quick, the trading card economy works, folks. So we're going to be opening that last, and before that, we're going to be looking at a couple of videos that explains White Schwartz and HoloLive. Let's go ahead and let's get cracking. So first up on the docket. So this is something that you would be pretty familiar with, and of course I'm very familiar with. For those of you who have been watching the channel for a long time, you know that I'm a big fan of Yu-Gi-Oh! And I'm specifically a big fan of the pendulum cards in Yu-Gi-Oh! So this is a structure deck that helps you to create a deck of very well-known monsters in Yu-Gi-Oh! Called the DDD monsters. DDD monsters are, of course, pendulum monsters that, they're eventually just build up in order to create stronger and stronger monster types that you can then place on the field. And yeah, I do very much like my pendulum card. It's just really my favorite way of playing Yu-Gi-Oh! And so let's go ahead and let's open this up here. Alright. Okay, so Yu-Gi-Oh! Sets are, pretty simple and straightforward. It really is just this little tray. You get your instruction book, and then you get your paper playmat, and then you just get the deck of, I believe this is 40 cards. It's not even necessarily enough to make a deck, and these are not normally labeled as starter decks. Instead, they are labeled as structure decks. Is decks to have a certain amount of cards of a theme, so that it would help you build the theme. Alright, so let's see, where's the package opening here? Yeah, just peel that off at the top here. Alright. Okay, so right at the top, we have the ace card. And this is called DDD Chaos King Apocalypse. So pendulum cards, of course, are combination cards. They're part monster and they're also part spell. The spell instructions are in this column at the top here, and the monster instructions are here on the bottom. So this one is DDD Chaos King Apocalypse. As a spell card is that you can banish 2 DDD monsters from your graveyard, and then special summon this card from your pendulum zone. So it has the ability to move from the pendulum zone into the front zone. You can use it as a pendulum card, and then you can use it as your main monster card. Not every pendulum card does that. Sometimes you just have to make the call whether or not you want to run it as a spell or whether or not you want to run it as your monster. And so this is a big ol' effect for Fiend Pendulum. During your opponent's turn, if this card is in your hand or graveyard, you can target up to 2 face-up spell trap cards you control. You cannot special summon monsters for the rest of this turn, except for Fiend-type monsters, which the DDD monsters basically are. And then also destroy the targeted cards, and if you do, special summon this this card as a quick effect. You then can only use this effect once per turn. So this is the ace card here. Is that you have the ability to destroy 2 spell and trap cards and in exchange special summon this card. And since this is a pendulum card, it always stays in the extra deck instead of the graveyard. So here's a fusion card. So fusion cards, of course, are extra deck cards, and well, this one actually isn't a pendulum card, though some pendulum and fusion cards actually do exist. This one is DDD, Dragonbane, King Beowulf, a Fiend, fusion, effect cards, requires 1 DDD monster and 1 DD monster. If a DD monster you control attacks a defense position monster, inflict piercing battle damage to your opponent once per turn. During your standby phase, you can destroy all cards in the spell and trap zones. Alright. And so, well, as I've just spoken, this is an effect monster and also a spell card. This is DD Orthoros. It's a 2-headed dog. Fiend, Pendulum, and Tuner. As a spell card, it's once per turn you can target a spell or trap card on the field, and 1 other D&D or Dark Contract card that you control, and then destroy them. And then, as a Fiend, Pendulum, Tuner effect, when you take battle or effect damage, you can special summon this card from your hand. If this card is special summoned to your field, you can add special summon monsters for the rest of this turn. So, the monsters probably all have effects that are probably similar to that one. Is that you have the ability to summon the cards directly from your hand if the conditions are met, but if you do, then you're not allowed to summon an additional monster that turn. That would... so that goes along with the baseline Yu-Gi-Oh! Rules, is that you're not allowed to summon more than 1 monster a turn, or special summon more than 1 monster each turn. So, they just kind of do that in order to, just keep the gameplay relatively competitive. Okay, so this is DD Lamia, a Fiend Tuner effect card. If this card is in your hand, you can send 1 DD or Dark Contract card from your hand or face down from your field to the graveyard, except for Lamia. Special summon this card, but banish it when it leaves the field. You can only use the effect of D&D Lamia once per turn. So this one has a slightly different penalty. Is that in the event that this card is sent to the graveyard, it doesn't go in the graveyard, it goes out of play. Alright. DDD Chris King Siegfried. This one is a link. Well, no, this is a synchro card effect. And so the way synchro cards work is that you have to have the sum total of the card's level from the 2 monster cards that you use in order to sacrifice in order to summon it. And so this card is a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So you would probably need, 2 level 4 monsters, one of which is a tuner and one of which is not a tuner, in order to summon this card. Alright. During either player's turn, you can target 1 face-up spell or trap card on the field. That target has its effects negated until the next standby phase. You can only use this effect once per turn. If this card is destroyed by a battle or card effect and then sent to the graveyard, gain 1,000 LP for each Dark Contract card you require. So this allows you to heal life points equivalent to every single Dark Contract card that is on the field. And so the majority of the spell cards are going to say, in this structure deck, they're going to say Dark Contract. Alright, so this is D&D Savant Newton. So in the field spells slot, it says you cannot pendulum summon monsters except DD monsters. This effect cannot be negated. Once while this card is in your pendulum zone, you can negate an activated trap effect that would affect damage to you and then destroy the card. And then as a Fiend Pendulum effect, you discard this card, then target 1 DD or Dark Contract card in your graveyard, except for DD Savant Newton added to your hand, and you can only use this effect once per turn. Alright. DD Savant Copernicus. So Fiend, one pendulum number, and effect card is that if this card is normal or special summon, you can send a DD or Dark Contract card from your deck to the graveyard, except for this one, and you can only use it once per turn. So yeah, a lot of very similar effects here. Baseline effects and non-baseline effects. So this is one of the larger cards. This is DDD Doom King Armageddon. So this is 1, 2, 3, 4. This is a level 8. So you need a pendulum scale of between 1 and 9 in order to summon this card. Once per turn, if a monster you control is destroyed by battle or card effect, you can target one of those monsters. This card gains attack equal to the monster's original attack until the end of the turn. This card cannot attack your opponent directly during the turn. The effect is activated and cannot be destroyed by spell or trap effects that do not target this card. Alright. So here's DD Cerberus. Once again, you know, while the previous card was a 2-headed dog, this is a 3-headed dog. And so, Fiend Pendulum effect, when this card is pendulum summoned from your hand while you control a DD monster, you can target one continuous spell card in your graveyard and then add it to your hand. DD Lilith, this is actually a normal card. Well, an effect monster card. If this card is normal or special summoned, you can activate one of these effects. You can only use the effect once per turn. One is that you target a D&D monster in your graveyard and then add it to your hand. The second is add one face-up DD pendulum monster from your extra deck to your hand. Alright. DD Night Howl, also an effect card. Fiend Tuner effect. When this card is normal summoned, you can target a DD monster in your graveyard, special summon it. Also, you cannot special summon monsters for the rest of your turn except Fiend type monsters. That monster's attack and defense becomes 0. If it is destroyed, you take a 1000 damage. D&D Savant Galilei. Okay, so 2 Fiend Pendulum effect. Having either player's turn, you can discard this card, then target one DD or Dark Contract you control. Return it to your hand. You can only use this effect once per turn. So, DD Savant Keeper, level 1 but 10 pendulum count. If this card is normal special summoned, you can activate one of these effects. You can only use the effect of DD Savant Kepler once per turn. One, target another DD card you can control and then return to the hand, or add a Dark Contract card from your deck to your hand. Alright, then this is Oblivion King Abyss Ragnarok. It's a level 8 5 pendulum Fiend Platinum effect. If this card is normal special summoned, you can target one DDD monster from your graveyard and special summon it. You can only use the effect of DDD Oblivion once per turn. Once per turn, you contribute another DD monster, then target one monster your opponent controls and then banish it. DD Supreme King Kaiser. Once again, this is a normal effect monster, and this is the effect is that the card is pendulum summoned. All face cards your opponent currently controls have their effects negated until the end of this turn. Once per turn during your main phase, this card was pendulum summoned. This turn, you can target up to 2 cards in your spell and trap zones, destroy them, and if you do, for each destroyed card, this card gains 1 additional attack during your base battle phase each turn. So, when it comes to basic monsters, if you can pendulum summon them, you can only pendulum summon them from your hand. And then after they die, they go to the graveyard, which is a little bit different from, pendulum monsters that will go into your extra deck and then they can be summoned a second time from the extra deck. Okay, DD Proud Ogre level 6, 8 pendulum cost. When this card is normal summoned, you can special summon a face-up Dark Pendulum monster from your extra deck. but with its effects negated. You can also special summon monsters for the rest of the turn except for DD monsters. Okay. DD Proud Chevalier, level 5, 6 Pendulum. When this card is normal summoned, you can add one face-up Dark Pendulum monster from your extra deck to your hand. Dark Arm Dragon, this is a level 8 dragon effect monster card. It can't be normal summoned except must be special summoned from your hand by having exactly 3 dark monsters in your graveyard, and cannot be special summoned in other ways. You can banish 1 dark monster from your graveyard, then target 1 card, then destroy that target. So you have the ability to summon this card in the event that you have 3 of the other normal effect monsters that are in the deck in your graveyard. Then you have the ability to summon this card. Dark Grepher, level 4 warrior effect. It's a normal effect card as well. You can special summon this card by discarding 1 level 5 or higher dark monster. Once per turn, you can discard a dark monster and a dark monster from your deck into the graveyard. Okay. Armageddon Knight, level 4 warrior effect. When this card is summoned, you can send 1 dark monster from your deck to the graveyard. Okay. Trance Archfiend, once per turn you can discard 1 fiend type monster, and if you do, this card gains an attack and this gains 500 attack until the end of the turn. When this card you control is destroyed and sent to the graveyard, you can target 1 of your banished dark monsters and then add that target to this hand. Okay, here's a Curry Bandit, just part of the very popular Kuribo line. So level 3 Fiend effect. During the end phase, if this card was normal summoned during this turn, you can tribute the card, excavate 1 of the top 5 cards of your deck, and then add 1 excavated spell or trap card in your hand. Then also send the remaining cards to the graveyard. Alright. Stygian Street Patrol, level 4 Fiend effect monster. If this card destroys a monster by battle, sends it to the graveyard, inflict damage to your opponent equal to the original level of the monster in the graveyard times 100. You can banish this card from your graveyard, special summon 1 fiend type monster with 2,000 or less attack from your hand. Okay. Stygian Security, level 1 Fiend Tuner effect card. If this card is destroyed by battle and sent to the graveyard, special summon 1 level 1 Fiend type monster from your deck. And so now, I believe that is the entirety of the monsters. We're going to start looking at spell and trap cards now. So this one is... the majority of the cards that work with this deck are called Dark Contract cards, which, is just its own set of, specific cards that mostly deal with the ability to special summon. Okay, so Dark Contract with the Yami Makai. I apologize for my Japanese. Once per turn during your standby phase, at 1,000 damage, you can only use one of the following effects of Dark Contract with the Yami Makai per turn, and then once that turn. During your main phase, you can target 1 D&D Pendulum monster in your graveyard and then place it in the Pendulum Zone. Or during your main phase, you can place 1 face-up D&D Pendulum monster from your extra deck into your Pendulum Zone. So, the Dark Contract with the Gate is a spell card. During your main phase, you can add 1 DD monster from your deck to your hand. You can only use this card, effective Dark Contract with the Gate, once per turn during your standby phase. Alright. Dark Contract with the Swamp King. During your main phase, you can fusion summon 1 Fiend type fusion monster from your extra deck, using monsters from your hand or field as fusion materials. You can only use this effect once per turn. If summoning a DD fusion monster this way, you can also banish monsters from your graveyard as fusion material. Once per turn during your standby phase, take 1,000 damage. Forbidden Dark Contract with the Swamp King, I think, yeah, so this is a variant of the one that we had already seen. Once per turn, you can special summon 1 DD monster from your hand to defense position, but its effects are negated. Once per turn, you can special summon 1 Fiend type fusion monster from your extra deck, using monsters from your hand or field as fusion materials. including a monster that you special summoned by this card as the above effect. Once per turn, during your standby phase, take 2,000 damage. Fusion Foolish Burial, send one monster from your deck to the graveyard. 1 for 1, send one monster from your hand to your graveyard, special summon one level 1 monster from your hand or deck. So, since there's a significant amount of graveyard summons here, and then there's a significant amount of monsters that can be summoned using graveyard monsters as materials, that's why Foolish Burial and 1 for 1 is in here. Alright, so Allure of Darkness, draw 2 cards and banish 1 dark monster from your hand, or if you do not have any in your hand, send your entire hand to the graveyard. Dark Eruption, target 1 dark monster with a 1500 less attack in your graveyard, add that target to your hand. Alright, so Emergency Provisions, send any number of other spell or trap cards you control to the graveyard, gain 1000 LP for each card sent to the graveyard this way. Alright. D&D Reroll. This is the first trap card. Dark Contract cards you control cannot be destroyed by your opponent's card effects. So this is useful because it keeps Dark Contract cards on the field. You can banish this card from your graveyard, then target up to 1 other banished DD cards, and then shuffle them into the deck. Okay. DD Recruits, if your opponent controls more monsters than you do, target any number of DD monsters and or Dark Contrast cards in your graveyard, up to the difference. Add 1 of these cards to your hand. You can only activate 1 DD Recruits per turn. Okay. DDD Human Resources, shuffle 1 card to your deck, any combination of DD monsters in your hand, field, or graveyard, and or DD cards from your pendulum zones. You can then add 2 DD monsters from your deck to your hand. Alright. Dark Contract with the Witch. You can send 1 DD or Dark Contract card from your hand to the graveyard, then target 1 card on the field and destroy it. You can only use this effect of Dark Contract with the Witch once per turn. All Fiend-type monsters you control gain 1000 attack during your opponent's turn only. Once per turn during your standby phase, take 1000 damage. Dark Contract with Errors. Once per turn, if you control a D&D monster, you can negate all trap card effects of the field. From there, to other... Oh, well, hang on. You can negate all trap cards effects on the field other than this card's for the rest of this turn, even if this card leaves the field. Once per turn during your standby phase, you take 1000 damage. Contract Laundering. Destroy as many Dark Contract cards in your spell and trap zones as possible, and if you do, draw the same number of cards you destroyed, then gain 1000 LP for every card you drew with this effect. So, as you're using Dark Contract cards, you have a tendency to lose LP. You would effectively use this card in order to destroy everything in the field and then receive your LP return. So that's just basically a form of full deck healing in this situation. Okay. Sinister Yashiro. Each turn, 1 level 5 or higher fiend type monster you normal summon can be summoned without tributing. If exactly 1 normal summon set level 5 or higher fiend type monster and no other cards would be destroyed, you can send this card to the graveyard instead. Escape from the Dark Dimension. Spell card. Target 1 of your banished dark monsters, special summon that target. When this card leaves the field, destroy the target, and if you do, banish it. When the target is destroyed, destroy this card. Alright. Hope for Escape. If your opponent's LP is at least 1,000 higher than yours, pay 1,000 LP and draw 1 card for every 2,000 points difference between your LP and your opponent's. And this last card is a XYZ card. So This card has one of each type. This structure deck has one of each type of special deck summon card in it. So, you require 2 level 4 Fiend type monsters. During your player's turn, you can attach 1 Xyz material from this card at the end of the battle phase. Special summon from your graveyard as many monsters destroyed this turn as possible. But during this turn, the night standby phase, take 1000 damage for each monster. Special summon by this effect. If this card is sent from the field to the graveyard, you can add 1 Dark Contract card from your deck to your hand. You can also only use the effect of D&D Wave King Caesar once per turn. Phew, that's a lot. I mean, Yo-Yo cards just kind of have a tendency to have a lot of card text on them. And so, that's the entirety of the structure deck. So, in truth, I already have 2 other versions of these, and I have made a full deck on this. I'm assuming that I bought this one so that I could just have a spare set of cards in the event that, I didn't have the right cards in order for this to be effective. Alright, so, that's good. Let's go ahead and let's move on to the next the cards we're going to be looking at. So, I think, I will do the Pokemon set next. And so, this is going to be a relatively small set, but this is one that I've been wanting for some time. And so, I at one point thought that I was going to buy this off of Amazon. This is the original Pokemon Scarlet and Violet. Sprigatito Paldea collection. Technically, I have a version of this. I have a version of this in the online game. It was just given to all of the people who started the monthly campaign for original Scarlet and Violet. So, there's a few significant things that I wanted out of this pack. Specifically this lapel pin right here. That's a Sprigatito lapel pin. Is that, as we all know, is that I have lots of collector's value collections, but my one non-collector's value collection is a set of lapel pins, and now I get to add Sprigatito to it, who I think I had already said, during my playthroughs of Scarlet and Violet, is one of my favorite Pokemon. So let's go ahead and let's get this box open. Alright. The downside to buying Pokemon cards is that you usually just find yourself ripping out a whole box. Alright. So, here's the interior of the collector's pack. I believe this section will lift out. And so, first thing, of course, is, just the 3 sets of Scarlet and Violet starters. You get precisely these 3 cards in every single one of the 3 packs that you could have bought in this set. And of course you could buy, one that was Quaxley themed and one that was Fuecoco themed. And so they're very, very basic cards. 70 and 80 HP each. Quaxley does pound for 10 and kick for 20. Sprigatito does mini drain 10 and heals 10 damage, and Fuecoco does gnaw and combustion. So yeah, very super simple. But also the first time that these 3 starters were ever represented in a Pokemon set. So that's supposedly what makes them special. Alright, and so I got the interior open. I can finally take out my lapel pin. And so, pretty standard when it comes to lapel pins. It has a silver outcropping on most of the details. So I enjoy it. It's this is just kind of one of my little creature comforts, is that I enjoy collecting little lapel pins. And there's a significant amount of them inside a card pack, so perhaps that's actually where this thing started. Alright. Put you back there for now. This is an extra large Corridon EX card, so of course you can't play these cards. It's more than likely that you're going to put them on display somewhere. Corridon, HP 230, ability is Dino Cry. Once during your turn, you can attach up to 2 basic energy cards from your discard pile to your basic Pokemon in any way you like. If you use this ability, your turn ends. Then Wind Impact for 220. During your next turn, this Pokemon can't attack. Alright. So, here we see, 4 packs of Pokemon. Those cards, all of them are... Well, okay, the 2 of them are Silver Tempest, and 2 of them are Brilliant Stars, and they're all in Sword and Shield, which is kind of significant because, even though we got the first Scarlet and Violet cards in this set, the packs are actually Sword and Shield, so... And that's precisely what happened when I opened the virtual version of this as well. Alright, so let's go ahead, let's do the pack open. Let me put the 2 Silver Tempests together, and then we will also we'll open the Brilliant Stars afterwards. Alright. So, open this up. Okay, of course we're getting a Pokemon Live code card. We use that for Pokemon TCG Live later. Okay, so first card, Growlithe, HP 90, does Flare for 10 and Ram for 20. Clink, HP 50, Call Sign, search your deck for a Pokemon, reveal it, and then put it into your hand, then shuffle your deck. Whalmer, HP 110, Gulp Down for 30. Heal from this Pokemon the same amount of damage you did to your opponent's active Pokemon, or Wave Splash for 60. Dratini, level 7, HP 70, Slam. Flip 2 coins. This attack does 30 damage for each heads. Phoebus, HP 30. Ascension, search your deck for a card that evolves from this Pokemon card and then put it into the Pokemon to evolve it. Then shuffle your deck, or splash for 10. Okay. V1, HP 70. Seafeast, search your deck for 3 basic water Pokemon and then put them into your bench and then shuffle your deck. And Wave Splash for 20. So yeah, this is the first foil card. And it's a reverse foil. Okay. Metagross, this is a regular foil card. HP 170. Ability, emergency entry once during your turn. If you drew this Pokemon from your deck at the beginning and your bench isn't full before you put it into your hand, you can put it into your bench. If you do, draw 3 cards. And then Meteor Mash for 100. During your next turn, this Pokemon's Meteor Mash attack does 100 more damage before applying weakness and resistance. Alright. Okay, Green Energy. Raichu, HP 120. Ambushing Spark. If your opponent has used a V-Star power during this turn, this attack does 100 more damage. So this is another V-Star slaying basic Pokemon. And then Electric Ball for 120. And then this one is Ferret Horn, HP 130. Does Spinning Attack for 50 or Whip Smash for 130. And here's Toxicroak, HP 120. Pierce for 30 or Diving Uppercut for 120. And during your opponent's next turn, this Pokemon takes 50 more damage from attacks after applying weakness or resistance. So, kind of a glass cannon dark type. Alright, so pack number 2. Okay. Once again removing the code card. Alright, so we have Rufflet. HP 70. Jump on. Flip a coin. If this is if it's heads, then this attack does 30 more damage. Spinarak, HP 60, does Bug Bite for 30. Beldum, HP of 60. Does a Magnetic Lift, allows you to search your deck for a card, shuffle, and then put this card on top of it. Or then tackle for 20. Krogunk, HP of 80, does Corkscrew Punch for 30. Solosis, HP 40, and does Ram for 30. Okay. Oh wow, this is probably going to be the biggest pull of this set. And you know, it's amazing because I'm only pulling 4 packs. I didn't expect something with this kind of heft to it. Anyways, this is a gold foil Rayquaza VMAX, HP 320. Ability is your pulse. Once during your turn, you may discard your island and then draw 3 coins. And then max burst is 20 plus. You may discard any amount of basic fire energy or any amount of basic electric energy. Then this attack does A more damage for each card you discarded in this way. So that is amazing. That is, yeah, probably, yeah, the rarest card that's going to come out of a set, particularly a set like this one. Cling Clang, HP 160. Ability Triple Gears. When you play this Pokemon from your hand to evolve one of your Pokemon during your turn, you can search your deck for up to 3 basic energy cards and attach them to your Pokemon in any way you like, then shuffle your deck, or do Power Beam for 130. Another green energy. This is a Hypno. HP 110. Psycall. Search your deck for up to 2 stage Pokemon and then put them into your bench and then shuffle your deck. And then Zen Headbutt for 90. And finally, here we have Honchkrow, HP 120. Triple Draw allows you to draw 3 cards, and Callous Wings allows you to switch this Pokemon with a bench Murkrow. Okay, so that was everything that was in Silver Tempest. Now let's go ahead and let's open up some Brilliant Stars. Alright. Okay, so here is... Okay. Carablast. HP 70. Does Peck for 10. Weasel, HP 60. And then Agility for 20. Allows you to flip a coin if it's heads. During your opponent's next turn, prevent all damage this turn and effects of attacks done to this Pokemon. Okay. Halucha. HP 70, Showboating Pose, attach up to 2 basic energy cards from your discard pile to one of your bench Pokemon. And then Crosscut, 30 plus if your opponent's active Pokemon is an evolution Pokemon, this attack does 30 more damage. Okay. Throw, HP 120, does lunge out for 30 or Seismic Toss for 110. Magmar, HP 90. Low Kick for 20 and or Fiery Punch for 70. Clang, HP 150. Ability is Gear Wall. Your basic Pokemon take 20 less damage from attacks from your opponent's Pokemon after applying weakness and resistance. And then Tumbling Attack for 90 plus. Flip a coin if heads, this attack does 90 more damage. And so this one is a reverse foil card. Alright. Here's Mewtwo, HP 130. Life Sucker for 20, and then heal 20 damage to this Pokemon, or Psyburn for 110. Alright. Here's a Dark Energy. Floatzel, HP 110. Floatify, put up to 2 item cards from your discard pile and into your hand, or Water Gun for 60. Choice Belt. Okay, Trainer item card. If the text of this Pokemon this card is attached to, do 30 more damage to your opponent's active Pokemon. Okay. And then Vibrava, HP 90, does Razor Wing for 30. See, the back of this card is a little bit bent, but it's alright because it is just a basic card. Alright. So once again, you know, I've always been kind of vexed by the fact that, you know, Trapinch is not considered to be a bug type because it starts out as an ant and then it turns into a dragonfly. So I don't understand why it wouldn't, but you know, what do I know? It's not a bug. It is not a bug. Look it up yourself if you like. All right. Put that card aside. All right. So, okay, Duskull, HP 60, Perplex, flip a coin. If heads, your opponent's active Pokemon is not confused. Far-fetched HP of 80. Leak Lash does 20 plus 10 more damage for each damage counter on your opponent's active Pokemon. Execute HP of 50 does a Ram for 10 and a Seed Bomb for 20. Okay. Sneasel HP of 70 does Scratch for 10 or Slash for 20. Okay. Grimer, Poison HP 80, Poison Gas. Your opponent's active Pokemon is not poisoned. Torkoal, HP 120. This is a reverse foil. Fire breathing 30 plus. Flip a coin if has this attack does 30 more damage. Or a guard press for 90. During your opponent's next turn, this Pokemon does 30 less damage from an attack. Alright. Klinklang, HP 150. Gear Wall, your basic Pokemon take 20 less damage from attacks from your opponent's Pokemon after applying weakness or resistance. Or Tumbling Attack does 90, and Flip a Coin if heads, it does 90 more damage. Okay, Fire Energy, Hunting Gloves, Trainer Item. The attacks this Pokemon this card is attached to do 30 more damage to your opponent's active Dragon-type Pokemon before applying weakness and resistance. Alright. And finally, well, okay, yeah, there's 2 more cards. This one is Beartic. HP 140. Sheer Cold for 40 during your opponent's next turn. The defending Pokemon cannot attack, or Frost Smash for 130. Alright. Floatzel, HP 110. Floatify. Put up to 2 item cards from your discard pile into your hand, or Water Gun for 60. So yeah, all in all, definitely the MVP of this pool was Rayquaza. You know, just really, you know, I'm going to have to go and I'm going to have to check value on that. But, you know, just in the sheer terms that I was able to pull it by, you know, going through a simple collector's set is really, really impressive. So, yeah, going slightly back here, we have Rayquaza. We have the Scarlet and Violet starters. Well-rounded is the word. Yeah, absolutely. Okay. And of course, you know, I got my little Sprigatito pin, so I'm really happy about that. Yes, it's a darling little pin. It's a dear little cat. Alright. So take these, put that aside now. Okay, so we're going from that, and now we are going to look at One Piece. So, these are 2 starter decks that came out. Volume 8 and Volume 9, according to the manga style not naming system that they typically use when it comes to One Piece the card game. So, the last time I had shown some One Piece cards on the show, we had the first 4 starter decks. That was the Straw Hat Pirates, the Greatest Generation, the Animal Kingdom, and the East Blue deck. And the way that One Piece works is that every single card in a deck has to match the type of their leader. I mean, there's a few leader cards out there that can have 2 types, but for the most part, the yellow, every card has to go in a deck that's the same color. And so, up until this point, I didn't have a yellow deck and I didn't have a black deck, and there are the 2 remaining colors that I didn't have. The first 4 decks were purple, green, blue, and red. I like the only girl on the right. I don't know who that is, but she's really neat looking. So, I understand that, you know, she was a character that was very recently introduced and she's a rival to Zoro, but I don't know anything else about that. Anyways, going slightly back to this is, so they had released a yellow and a black deck in Standard, and those are the decks for the Big Mom Pirates and also the Navy. But I personally, was not able to get those. So it seems like they just kind of released these immediately afterwards for anybody who might have missed out on, the second set of standard decks. And so basically, yeah, these two decks are based around one character, effectively telling you who the leader card is in each set. So let's go ahead and let's look at the Luffy deck first. So, we have a lot to discover when it comes to Yamato. We'll go ahead and we'll go through this together. Alright, so... So I always take the, I prefer not to rip these simply because I really do like the boxes, and I like to use the boxes as my deck boxes. So let's see what I can do instead of tearing. I'm just looking around my desk really quickly, try to see if I remember to have a knife handy, but I don't believe that I do. Okay. Okay, well, I have this great big utility hammer. I'm gonna use a knife from that. Try to find out where the slightly smaller knife blade is. Hey, welcome to CardCatter Brainy. Where not only do I open up cards, but I also run a severe risk of cutting myself. Alright. Alright, so... Okay, so here's the blister that has the deck in it, this is the instruction book, and on the reverse it has it has the paper play mat on it. The paper play mats are in One Piece are honestly not so great. They're black and white, very simple colored. So it's much nicer to have a full color one like the one that I have on the table right now. All right, so. Let's get this package open. All right. So this is the leader card, and so this is a mono black card, and this one is Monkey D. Luffy. HP of 5,000 with the special ability. During your turn, when your character is KO'd, give it up to one rested Dawn to this leader. Dawn is the energy in this in One Piece decks. Okay, so this is Uta. Uta was the character in the most recent One Piece film. I believe it was called Red. She is, I think, the third sibling in the Portuguese de Ace family. And she's also known as being a singer and a diva. And so HP is 300. This character cannot be KO'd in battle by leaders. And then in main, you can rest this character, give up to one of your opponent's characters 2 costs during this turn. Alright. And so we have 2 of her. Okay, we have a Shanks. Shanks is enormous. Shanks has 10,000 attack points. Requires a total of 9 of your Dawn in order to summon. It's probably one of the largest summons that I've ever seen in One Piece. On play, you can trash a card from your hand to KO all characters with a cost of 1 or less. So basically here to be a killer for decks that, do an enormous amount of swarm. Okay, here's Gaimon. 400. And a defense of 1,000 and no special effects. Alright. There's 4 of them in here. So, you're looking at the character you're most likely going to replace. here's Kobe. 1000 attack, level 4. During your main turn, you can rest this character to KO up to one of your opponent's characters with a cost of 2 or less. Alright, and there are 2, 3, 4. And so since we're seeing, a significant amount of, just Navy cards that, that this actually might have some of the cards that are also in the Navy starter deck. This is Shirahoshi the Mermaid. So as a blocker, after your opponent declares attack, you can use this card to make it the target of the attack. And so blocker cards are really just basically, are like that. So this is a level 4 card, but it has 0 attack points. So you're only using it as a support card. On your play, give one of your opponent characters -4 cost during this turn, which means that they have the ability to reduce the summon of a card that comes after it, provided that it still remains on the field at the time that you're able to do that. Okay, so there are 4 of her. Okay, this is Nefeltari Vivi, level 3, HP 100. After your opponent declares an attack, you can rest this card and make it a new target of the attack. Alright, so 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. So this is Higuma, HP 2000. On your play, give one up to one of your opponent's characters cost 2 costs during this turn. So you can make 2 characters, 2 costs. Like make one character 2 costs, which means that you can actually take a strong character, you can reduce it to 2, and then if you have the proper attack card to play afterwards, then you can eliminate that character in addition to great big bundles of low-cost characters. Okay, here's Makino, also HP 0, counter 2000. On a play, if there's a character with a cost of 0, draw 1 card, so they work together with the mermaid one. Okay, 4 of those. Here's Monkey D. Garp. As we all know, Garp is the leader of the Navy in One Piece, and just kind of, strange contrasting similarity that he has the same first and middle name as Luffy. So, level 5, 7000. No special ability, and a counter of 1000. Okay. There's 4 of those. So here's a Luffy character card. This one is 5000, counter of 1000. And no special ability. There's 1, 2, 3, and 4 of those. Okay, this is Laboon. So Laboon is a whale that I think was most connected to both Brook and the Goldie Roger pirates, who are of course the pirates that actually put away the One Piece. So HP of 6000, counter of 1000, and no special effect. Okay. Um, 6,000. So Mr. Tubankure Bentham, I think most often just referred to as Bentham. Level 5, 6,000 HP. Spend 1 Don at the end of an attack with this character, in which this character battles your opponent. You may KO the opponent's character who you battled with you. So it's like, spending 1 additional Don in order to death touch a character. That's basically what that does. Okay, so now we're in attack cards. This one is Gum Gum Bell. Requires 2. Allows you to add one card from the top of your life cards to your hand, and then give up to one of your opponent's characters -7 cost. And then on the trigger, add up to one black character card with a cost of 2 or less from your trash into your hand. Okay, there's 1, 2, 3, and 4 of those. Gum Gum Pistol, level 3. On your main phase, KO one of your opponent's characters with a cost of 2 or less. So this goes in conjunction with the other cards that actually reduce an opponent's player's level. And then draw 1 card. And so that is in the entirety of the attack cards. I'm more than certain the rest of this is just, you know, the Dawn cards that come with every starter set. So, once again, you know, the way that the energy works in One Piece is that you can have up to 10 cards per field. You start out your turn by placing 1 card, and then every subsequent one, you place 2 down. And so, you know, spending Dawn is like spending mana costs, is that you have to spend a certain amount in order to use very special effects. And in the event that you want to power up an attack, you can also attach Dawn cards to add 1,000 attack to the character that you wish to put it on. So you have a strategic choice. You can use these in order to power up your character's attack, or you can, you know, just tap them in order to use special abilities. Alright, so then that's everything that's inside of the, that's everything that's inside the Luffy deck. Okay, so I think curiosity has gotten the better of me at this point. I think I'm going to go over to Google, and I am going to Google specifically who Yamato is, so that, you know, at least we have a little bit of an idea who we might be dealing with. Let's see. Okay. Okay, here we are. Get out of here, you kooky Amazon ad. Okay, Yamato is the son of Kaido, born as Kaido's daughter and groomed from a young age to be his heir. Yamato instead developed a profound admiration for the samurai Kazuki Oden. After Oden's death, Yamato decided to become like him, impersonating him and adopting his mannerisms. As a result of his desire to emulate Oden, Yamato decided to become a man and identify as Kaido's son, which is why his father and the Beast Pirates refer to him as well. This path has put Yamato at odds with Kaido, and much of his life being spent imprisoned in Onigashi Misa. Yamato befriended Ace during his visit to Wano Country, and after learning of Ace's death, waited for the arrival of his sworn brother, Monkey D. Luffy. Initially desiring to want to join Luffy's crew, Yamato ultimately decided to remain behind in Wano to help protect it from outside forces, though he still intends to join them in the future. Yamato is a major ally of the Straw Hats during the Wano County arc. Okay. Being assigned female at birth and not choosing to explicitly represent as male, Yamato has typically been referred to as a woman by people when they first encounter him. Yamato is taller than the average human, standing at 263 centimeters, 8 foot 8. He has long white hair that is bound between orange rods into a ponytail in the back, which fades into an aqua green and then blue the further down it goes, and it ends in rectangular locks similar to Kaido. Yamato also has large orange eyes with prominent eyelashes, wears gold hoop earrings on both ears, and has horns on the top of his head, which are mostly red, but gradually become more flesh-colored towards the base. Yamato's current outfit is sleeveless white garment with a diamond-shaped design on both sides, and then the go-wisp pattern on the bottom half. Okay, well, we can see the pictures. I probably shouldn't just continue to read the description. Yamato greatly admires the samurai Kazuki Oden to the point of even proclaiming to carry his identity. So, just for reference, this is what Oden looks like. Alright. Yamato is self-identified as Oden on multiple occasions. and has even emulated his gender, proclaiming to be the son of Kaido due to Odin being a man. Though initially carrying a doubts as to how to present his Odin, Yamato has steadily expressed a straightforward attitude regarding his identity as time has gone on, even proclaiming this as such to Odin's son Momosuke, to the boy's horror. After having wholeheartedly embraced this identity, Yamato retains his original persona, referring to Yamato as his other name. Yamato does not seem to like being misnamed, having quickly corrected Luffy when giving a nickname. It's neat lore, like taking on like a title, precisely. Yamato is more than willing to put his body and life on the line to protect people out of care, believing that Odin would never abandon a comrade in danger. Absolutely withstood a barrage of powerful artillery strikes by the armored division to protect Momonosuke. Later confronted Kaido alone to stall him until Luffy returned, despite knowing he was no match for his father. However, Yamato also takes enjoyment in engaging in combat, despite framing his plan to split up from Momonosuke as a decoy strategy to trick these pirates. Momonosuke and Shiboto both noted to themselves that he seemed mainly interested in going to fight. Alright, so now we know about the character, we can see how they operate as a leader. Alright, so let's go ahead and let's open up this box. Once again, you know, I don't know if I would call this as taking an additional precaution. Simply that I just want to open these a bit more gentle because I do not want to wreck the very good looking box. Alright. Yamato Batman is Batman. Nothing wrong with that. Yeah. Well, something to see if that's something I can remember and project if I ever end up playing this card during a One Piece tournament. So, let us not misgender our heroes. Yamato being our hero more than the samurai was. So, okay, so let's go ahead and let's open up this package. And I also assumed that, you know, their Laura had a little bit more to do with Zoro, but that's actually not true. It actually has everything to do with Ace. Okay, so Dawn of One, and on an opponent's turn, if you have 2 or less life cards, the leader gains plus 1,000 power. So that's effectively this character becomes stronger whenever after you take a significant amount of damage. Which, as you know how the damage system works in One Piece, is that every time you lose a unit of life, you actually draw a card. And it's similar to the prize pool in Pokemon, except for the fact that you draw those cards in the event that you take damage, which means that you become stronger by virtue of the fact that you've drawn an extra card. In addition to that, Yamato has the ability, in order to go up by 1,000 attack, whenever you go down to 2 damage. Okay, so this is another foil card. This is Kazuki Odin. So, of course, we read so much about how Kazuki Odin is Yamato's hero, so naturally he's a part of this deck. So 7,000 HP, level 7. Spend the Dawn, this character will gain double attack. And then on the KO, you may trash 2 cards from your hand, and then add up to 1 card from the top of your deck to the top of your life cards. Alright. We have 2 of those, and they're both foils. Third card in the set is Portuguese the Ace. 7,000 HP, level 6. Once per turn, if this character would be KO'd, you can trash 1 card from the top of the bottom of your life cards instead. I mean, so, and this actually, that's taking the penalty of actually taking your life card and then throwing it in the graveyard will allow you to keep Ace alive. So there are 2 of him. Uzuki Tempura. 5,000 HP, level 4. Rest up to one of your opponent's characters with a cost of 2 or less, and then add this card to your hand. There are 4 of him. Okay. Okay, 6,000 HP, level 4, ulti from the Animal Kingdom Pirates. No special ability, but a counter of 1,000. There's 1, 2, 3, 4. You got enough tempura? You can never have enough tempura, Devin. Alright. Kaido. So Kaido has been, really, really prominent in One Piece lately. Because he is the character that Luffy beat up using his 5th gear attack. So just his strongest transformation to death is finally what put the kibosh on the man who can transmogrify into a dragon. So, with Kaido, tap 1 Dawn. If you have 2 or less effect cards, this character cannot be KO'd in battle. Alright. That is if you have, 2 or less life cards. Goes very well. It goes very well with the ability that our leader has, because you can't KO leader cards either. So here's Kazuki Momonosuke. I am effectively saying that this is actually the dragon that the legendary samurai transforms into. All right, so level 2, 4,000, and a counter of 1,000, but no special ability. 2, 3, and 4 of those. Okay. So here's Shinobu. So let's see what. So Shinobu, clearly with a name like that, she's a shinobi, which means she's a ninja. But also, a female ninja would be called a kunoichi. So that kind of goes along with, just kind of the gender scheme that Yamato is as well. Level 3, 2,000 HP. Is a blocker card, and then on a block you can add a card from the top or the bottom of your life cards to your hand. 1, 2, 3, and 4. Shimotsuki Ushimaru. 6,000 HP, level 5. Spend a Dawn when attacking to add 1 card from the top or bottom of your life cards to your hand. There's 1, 2, 3, and 4. Alright. Ugetsu Omasumi, character that is clearly inspired by Kabuki Theater. 4,000 HP, level 3. On a trigger, K up to one of your opponent's characters with a cost of 1 or less, and then add this card to your hand. Alright. 1, 2, 3, and 4. Okay. There's a Monkey D. Luffy in this deck. This one is 5,000, level 3. Has an attack of 5,000 and a counter of 1,000, but no special abilities. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, here's the Yamato character card. This one is level 3 HP of 3,000. When attacking, you can add 1 card from the top or the bottom of your life cards to your hand. This character gains 2,000 power until the end of your next turn. Alright. 2, 3, 4. Okay, so this is Yamato's dragon form. Level 5 HP 7,000. And counter of 1,000, but no special ability. 1, 2, 3, and 4. And so now we're on to the attack cards. Narikabura Arrow. As a counter, if you have 2 or less life cards, give up to one of your opponent's leader or character cards minus 3,000 power during this turn. Or on the trigger, you can trash 2 cards from your hand, add 1 card from the top of your deck to the top of your life cards. So 1, 2, and then Thunder Bagua. Counter up to one of your leader or character cards. gains plus 4,000 power during this battle. Then if you have 2 or less life cards, add up to one of your opponent's characters with a cost of 3 or less to the top or bottom of your opponent's cards face up. 1, 2, 3, and 4. And so I can virtually guarantee that, you know, unlike the Luffy deck, which might have some of the cards from the Black Navy deck, I'm more than certain every one of these cards is exclusive to this set. So, I don't know how to feel about that. Is that I still might need to check, seek out the Big Mom Pirates starter deck just to see how much it differs from this one. Alright. So, put those aside, and then we are going to be getting to our main event. You know, it brings me great personal joy to be doing this next segment. Simply because, you know, just because I'm a VTuber myself. And so I always appreciate the advancement of VTubing and the appearance of VTubing in alternate forms of culture. And so this is precisely why I'm very happy to be unboxing this White Schwartz set of HoloLive. HoloLive Production Volume 2. So I've set up something, you know, just to, well, to fill time, first of all, but also, you know, just to introduce us a bit more properly to how the White Schwartz games are supposed to be played. Because, you know, we tried to do the same thing when we did the Avatar The Last Airbender deck, and I really wasn't happy with it. So that's another reason, you know. It's because I'm a perfectionist. Alright, so let's go ahead and let's start... Well, okay. Hang on a second. Shut down the music first. Okay. There we are. Okay, we're going to head over to YouTube, and we're going to watch a couple of videos. One of them is the How to Play White Schwartz video. The other one is the quote-unquote perfect guide to HoloLive, which is basically just a jokey meme introduction to the characters that are going to be in this set. So let's go ahead and let's start with How to Play White Schwartz.
Weiss Schwartz is a trading card game that adapts anime and game titles, so everyone can enjoy their favorite titles as a card game. In this video, we will show you a brief tutorial to the basics of the game in 6 minutes. Decide who goes first with rock, paper, scissors. The winner goes first. Both players shuffle their decks and draw 5 cards as their starting hand. Discard the cards you don't want from your hand into the waiting room. Then, draw the same number of cards you discarded. When both players are done, let's Weiss Schwartz.
Let's Weiss Schwartz.
First,
I don't
draw a
know,
card
you know,
from your
I don't
deck.
feel like it'll never catch on.
Now, let's play a character onto the stage. To attack, turn your character sideways. Attack! You deal damage to your opponent equal to your character's soul. As there are no characters facing the attacking character performs a direct attack and gets an additional soul. Flip the top card of your deck as your trigger check. Different triggers give different effects. In this case, it's a soul icon, so your character gets 1 additional soul. Put the card you just flipped over face down into your stock. As you can see on the right, there are various ways in which we can increase the damage we deal to our opponent. For this attack, we will deal a total of 3 damage. The opponent will flip over cards equal to the damage taken from the top of their deck and put them into their clock. With this, we will end our turn.
Okay.
Now, it's your
So,
opponent's
yeah,
turn.
what I'm understanding, okay,
Draw
so there's
phase.
3 types of...
During the clock
Let me pause
phase,
this for a
you may
moment.
put
Okay, so then there's a draw deck, there's a utility deck, and then there is a clock deck. So, in the situation that you actually do damage to your opponent, cards get taken off of the draw deck and they get put in the clock deck, which means I think that they delay the use of those cards for 1 turn. Okay, I think I'm understanding it.
Put a card from your hand into your clock. To draw 2 cards, the opponent plays 3
Oh,
characters
well
on
then,
their stage
okay.
and 1 on their backstage.
Wow,
While
that's a big
characters on the
swarm in an
backstage
additional
cannot
turn.
attack, characters with the assist ability can boost the power or give effects to characters in front of them. Opponent attacks. Any triggers? No triggers. So that's 2 damage.
So unless you
Opponent
can
attacks.
counter that,
Trigger
then
check.
you will do
A soul
2,000
trigger.
damage to that
That's
character.
1 additional soul for a total of 3 damage. Cancel. If a climax card turns up, damage cancel occurs. And all cards flipped for damage is put into your waiting room. This means you take 0 damage from this attack. Opponent attacks. As there is a character facing the attacking character performs a frontal attack and gets no additional soul during the attack. No icons, no bonuses. So you receive only 1 damage. When there is an opposing character facing the attacking character, a battle between them occurs. In a battle, the character with the higher power wins. The character with lower power loses the battle, becomes reversed, and sent to the waiting room at the end of battle phase. And that's the end of your opponent's turn. Draw
Okay,
phase.
so you're waiting
This
on
time,
clock cards and
let's
you're also
clock
waiting
too.
on waiting room cards.
Let's fill your stage
I just
with
did this in order to
characters,
build a system where,
including
you know,
our
you don't
backstage.
technically have a
The center
graveyard.
character gets assist from both backstage characters. Now, let's play a climax card. Different climax cards gives you different effects. This climax gives all your characters additional 1,000 power and 1 soul. Attack. No soul icon. 2 damage to your opponent. Your character has higher power, so you win the battle. Attack. 3 damage to your opponent. There are now 7 cards in your opponent's clock. When that happens, that player levels up. Choose one among the 7 bottommost cards in your clock to put into your level. The remaining 6 cards go into your waiting room. Then, put the remaining damage into your clock as usual. Each player starts at level 0, and the first player to force their opponent to reach level 4 wins the game.
Okay,
Now,
so you
let's
have
try doing
to
it.
have them put a total
Your
of
opponent
15
is now
cards
level 1,
into
and
their
can use
clock.
cards up to that level. The higher your level,
In the event
stronger
that
cards
the
you can use.
clock meter is
Now,
full, then
make
1
your
card
last attack with your middle
goes
character.
into
3
your
damage
play,
to your
and then the
opponent.
rest get thrown into the graveyard. Okay.
Encore. If there is a reversed character you wish to keep on your stage, you can pay 3 cards from your stock and return that character from your waiting room to its previous position on the stage. You and your opponent take turns until one of you forces the other to reach level 4. But be careful! As a player levels up and gets closer to level 4, the stronger cards they can use. And this covers the basics of what you need to start playing Weiss Schwarz. Detailed rules can be found on our website. Trial decks also consist of everything that you need to get started. We hope you have fun with your favorite titles. Let's Weiss Schwarz!
Okay, so I basically understand how this goes. So, essentially, you know, this is very similar to the One Piece game in that once you actually succeed in attacking characters and forcing them to go up levels, you know, that by itself is very telling. Is that, you know, the stronger the opponent is going to get, and the harder it's going to actually be able to attack them. And so you have to pierce that veil maybe about, 4 times, make them discard a total amount of 15 cards in order to win the game. And so I probably, need to get a little bit more in depth with the rules, but that's basically how to play this. And so Weiss Schwarz, this entire time I've been referring to it as a company. It's actually, it's not a company. It's actually, both the words white and black in German. So, this is a Japanese card system that's named after 2 German words. And so the name of it is technically Black and White. And Black and White as a universal game system for lots of different anime and any other licensed properties that they want to get a hold of, like Adventure Time and Avatar, which is what I have other cards. There are actually 2 systems. Yeah, one of them is the white, which is the white system. The other one is the black, which is the black system. So, but that's Weiss and Schwartz, yeah. So, you know, it's a little bit cryptic, but it would be, if it's something that's a direct import from another country, but they work somewhat differently. Maybe just kind of in the sense that, different colored One Piece decks work. That's a possibility. All right. So we've learned about Weiss Schwartz. The next thing we're going to do is we're going to learn about HoloLive. And so, this one is a little bit more of an adult video, and there's one time when I'm going to have to mute the audio in it, but the rest of the time, let's take everything in good humor. This is the perfect guide to HoloLive. This video will teach you all you need to know about HoloLive. Overcopa is an entertainment company that focuses on making VTubers in Japan and all over the world. I'll give you the info on some of the VTubers, and I think this is all the main Japanese set. Loves horror games and rhythm games, has a companion teddy bear named Akimo. It's the word proper idol. Well, okay, that went a little bit past for me. The proper idol, as in the one that can actually sing. Roboco. Her fan base is called the Robosa. Her Hello Bo is the Tutaru. The most feminine out of all of them. Really just Roboco. Yeah, no explanations besides that. Sakura Miko. Alright. So this is a section that I have to mute. Everybody actually knows what that situation was. Your favorite is Baroni. Everyone's favorite is Baroni, Devin. Oh no, it all went wrong. Imagine just making one mistake and then burning down the entirety of your Minecraft village. They always tell you not to hum when you're VTubing. Oshimachi Susei.
まだ大丈夫。3分の1ぐらい減ってるぐらいかな。あめちゃんそろそろ。そういうことするんか。
The Tetris got really good drawing, really great singing voice. So I take it back. It's not just the first one that was a good singer. All right. Yozora Mel, wholesome, good poser, normal compared to the others. Oh boy. Fubuki.
I'm a Scatman.
A rap god apparently. Sure, that's very impressive in Japanese.
So.
Matsuri. A confirmed lolicon, obsessed with Fubuki. Enough said, not even a clip. Aki Rosenthal, elf from another dimension. Spontaneously producing a wide variety of different objects and materials from between her thighs, does a lot of ASMR. Tsundere likes to sniff her own feet. You know, these are the things that you share with an audience. Second generation is Minato Aqua, a crybaby. Machima is by far the funniest.
これ穴落ちた時に痛いってなるやつ。あ、
Stare, she ended her stream after this, yeah.
はい、できちゃった。
Don't ever let that girl play Smash Brothers again. So yeah. Emphasis on how Aqua cannot set a Minecraft pitfall. Around that time, I probably would have stopped my stream just because I might have had a heart attack. Angry Loli can flirt with almost anyone. You have no reason to not like her. Yeah, I suppose I don't. If they don't show a clip from her own stream, they show a clip of her from Aqua's stream. Here I am, a very complicated and unique design. Happy Oni. See, that's an Oni. That's somebody with Oni horns. I think the other, the people in the One Piece deck had dragon horns. Did we have to go back there? Uzura Subaru is probably one of my favorite characters, but just because of the duck dancing meme.
ノーパンだけど。めっちゃスタンドじゃん。
Has a cat named Taiga. Nekomata.
これで
Known for her association with Korone.
みんなが僕のおにぎり食べた、みんなが僕のおにぎり食べた、みんなが僕のおにぎり食べた。許さ
Never
れ
get
ない。
between a cat and their food.
おかえさん耳動かしてくれませんか。
Hey, there's Korone. Oh god, she's cute. Nuclear sneeze. Dancing skills. She got a lot of clips. FBK is also a part of Hololive Gamers. Usada Pekara, also one of the very popular ones. I mean, that's just, you know, adorableness overkill, you know. A rabbit VTuber trying to catch a plush carrot. Known for causing mischief. Has a ton of memes. Uhura Rushia. Her fan base are called the Fan Dead. The closest thing that we're going to have to a Dark Hololive member.
それはクソだった。Fuck you, fuck. Fuck you, fuck. Fuck you, fuck. Fuck you, fuck. Fuck you, fuck.
Chonoe Flare.
神様、仏様、神様、仏様、神様、仏様、神様、仏様。
in a harem with the 3rd gen. Her 3D model is amazing.
こっち向いて、はい、にゃんこのポーズで。にゃん。でいいのか？
There's a part of me that just kind of feels as though 3D models are 3D models.
よっしゃ
Rushi is back though as her old persona, so that's good.
ー！団子、団子。
I mean, did she try something else for a while? What's up with that? Okay, Marine, also incredibly popular.
ちょっと待って。パッパラパッパラパッパラパッパラパラパラパッパ。難しい。
4th gen, Kanata has a wide vocal range. Had a legendary debut and made this. Used PowerPoint, so she's called PP Tenchi. Must be protected at all costs. Yeah, apparently has a massive butt and tends to comment on it a lot. Kiryo Koku, this is also one that I know an awful lot about.
Good morning, motherfuckers.
It's really the fact that, you know, yeah,
Recipe to grow teeth? What the f?
she is the fluent English speaker in the Japanese set.
誰が負けるかそんなディスニー Listen to me 一聞いてみ歌うぞ歌め君のためうつむいてちダメダメ元気出ますよお試しあれ怒涛の羊だメイメイ回線落ちとちパイセンたちから学んだ敗戦なぜここはホロライブあったけえ仲間たちがいる間違えることは山場を越えればねすごいいいと思うんだけどな
Once I suddenly show her camera. It suddenly occurs to me that, you know, this might be the section that ends up getting muted.
パソコンの調子っていうものがあるよね。
それは何ですか父様
ほらどっかのカメラ。
ふざけんなお前ら危ねえだろ
Inamori Luma, who is 0 years old, has only one angry sound.
ちょっと手の数が多くなってきたのよね。おじさんさん。
Yeah.
ちょっと反応
Immunity to jump scares. To be fair, I didn't even think that was scary. Yeah, that's all for now. These are just the ones from Japan. Alright. Okay, so now we've been introduced to the HoloLive bunch. And, well, I don't know what to expect at this point. Is because a significant amount of the Weiss Schwartz games get their art from screenshots of the anime and television shows that they use in order to make them. You know, I don't know how if that's going to be the case with this set, because, you know, if we're really just interested in seeing, you know, a bunch of screenshots from a bunch of chat captures, frameworks, you know, just things that VTubers actually do, you know, I have to wonder, you know, whether or not that's going to be the case with this set. But let's not digress any further. Let's go ahead and let's open up this HoloLive TCG set. Boy, this is some tough plastic. Vampire Survivors Holocure finally getting a Steam release on the 17th. The div got permission to list it. Okay. So, what is that? Is that like a HoloLive skinned version of Vampire Survivors? Something that they had done for a stream once, but now it's going to be a legitimate release on Steam, something like that. It is indeed a fan-made HoloLive Vampire Survivor skin. You know, given that, Steam is no stranger to mods, it's kind of funny to think, they really had to take some time in order to make an official and unofficial mod. And so, okay, so here's a without the packaging. There's two things I can do. I can just open it up from the front, or I can actually try to pop out the display. See specifically what this thing will actually look like standing up. I've already torn it. You got to be better than this, Brainy. You actually work in a card store. All right. So yeah, that's the way it would look like as a display box. It's just the upturned section. And okay, so first thing that we see, this is a promo card, and I'm trying to see, specifically whether or not they list character names each time. It doesn't seem that way. This one is called "Repeat This Life with You." I had to pull it away in order to read it because the text is so tiny. This even seems tinier than Yu-Gi-Oh text. When this card is placed on your climax area from your hand, perform the red on symbol effect. When this card triggers, you may choose one character with a level equal to or less than your level, plus one of your waiting room, and then put it in a position of your stage. All right. So this is going to be a little bit slightly harder simply because, I'm still effectively just learning how to play all of this. So that's the one promo card. So I believe that we have 16 packs. You're going to say goodbye to the box, and now we're just going to do the Big Stack Unwrap. The Big Stack Unwrap, which characterizes the majority of these CardCatter Brainy streams. So I do like the packaging. Simply the fact that, it does have, this larger hanging area, which Japanese-style playing cards usually do. And so every single one of these packs is going to have 9 cards, I believe. All right, so rip in the first one. Okay, so... Okay, Muscle Brain Stretches Shirogane Noel. And so, well, from what I can see, this is actually Noel's 3D model. And, and just against the yellow background. So I think, yeah, they are actually taking screenshots. It's really just, the way in which screenshots are limited. In order to, okay, that's better, I actually managed to put a camera up that actually focuses. So, at least I can do a slight adjustment every single time that I'm holding a card. Okay. And, so this is a multi-utility card. It has an assist ability. Shiranui Flare, an Elf's Tea Party, Shiranui Flare. So just kind of a lot of references to what they might have said in their chat room. Okay, so this is Counterattack Shiranui Flare. Well, I'm feeling the pain. When this card attacks, it gets X power until the end of turn. X is equal to the number of the Hololive characters you have times 1,000. Okay, here's Azura Subaru. Entering the stratosphere, beyond the universe. Card gets 2,000 power for each other Hololive character in your backstage. I mean, so, it just kind of works with the Hololive set. Fighting for the Pon's boss monster, Ukami Mio. Yes, I will sit and wait. When this card attacks, re-roll the top card of your deck. If that card is an event or a hololive character, choose one of your characters, and that character gets 3,000 power until the end of your turn. Okay. Okay, this is the first actual art card. Everything else up to this point had been screenshots with 3D models in them. And so this is interesting because there's a very... it's really hard to see, but there is a really different kind of coating on it. It's partially matte and it's partially glossy. So some areas of this actually do gleam, while some of these areas don't. Particularly her skin and her sleeves, whereas her wings and the little ribbon on top of the cup are all shining. Okay. Moments of relaxation. Iris. When your character's triggered attack reveals a card with soul as its trigger, choose one of your characters, and that character gets 1,000 power until end of turn. Alright. Here's another Azura. Okay, so, you know, this one is also the 3D model, but it does have a design to it. A Step Towards the Future, Azura. When this card is placed on the stage from your hand, you can put the top 3 cards of your deck into the waiting room. Okay. This is Yuzora Mel, A Step Towards the Future. All of your characters in front of this card get X power. X is equal to the character level times 500. And so this is another card that has that combination matte and glossy coating on it. A Step Towards the Future, Hakos Bates. During your turn, if all of the characters are hololives, this card gains 2,000 power. Okay, and so this is another utility card, and this one is, yeah, this is the first time that we see, no, actually, no. I thought this was Coroni, but this is actually a squirrel. Magic Lessons, all of your characters get plus 1,000 power and 1 soul. So, I think, you know, they're putting one utility card in every single pack of these. You know, so when it comes to expansion, you're going to have to buy a starter deck, and you're going to have X amount of already existing utility cards. Oh, that's Risu. Okay. So, here's Hosho Marine. I apologize. Apology Conference, Hosho Marine. Okay, well, we actually own a trading card that has something to do with YouTube apologies. This is surreal. Stage. This card gets the following abilities. During your turn, this card gains 5,000 power. Okay. Okay. Amane Kanata. Things in this world are too fragile. Oh no, my excessive strength. When this card attacks, it gains X power until end of turn. X is equal to the number of the other characters you have times 1,000. Okay, here's the first Coroni card. Coroni Inugami, search for the treasure box. Akiro says, Coroni-chan, find another one by its scent. When this card is placed on the stage by your hand, it gains X point power until the end of turn, until X is equal to the number of hololive characters you have times 500. Okay, here's Tokiyami Tawa. Bad mimicry is bad form. Professor of Manners. When this card attacks, choose one of your other hololive characters, and that character gains 1,500 power, and the Encore ability. Put one character into your hand, into your waiting room. Okay. Okay, here's Ayunda Risu 2, and this one... Oh, I thought it was a holo, but it's, yeah, just once again, it's just got that weird glossy surface on it. Alright. When this card is placed on the stage from your hand, you can put the top card of your deck into your waiting room. Okay. Here's Watame Tsunomaki, A Step Towards the Future. When this card is placed on the stage from your hand, you can choose one cost of 0 lower green or bell pepper characters in your opponent's center stage. Bell peppers, we haven't seen anything that has that text in it. Okay. A step for the future, Hakui Kayori. Which, so I think a step to the future just kind of refers to every single one of these cards that has original art, and then it has its background with the monocolored triangles in the background. All of your characters in this card get an power X is equal to the number of a character's level times 500. Okay. Fubuki Shirakami, with you in the land glowing red. When this attack is placed on the stage from your hand, look at up to 3 cards from the top of your deck, choose swaps from 1 card among them, put them into your hand, and then put them into your waiting room. Okay, this is another utility card. This one's called Sun Shining. All your characters get plus 1,000 power and 1 soul. Okay, next pack. It's a cute all the way through. This is Kawaii Manufacturing. Okay. Sora Tokino, Pressure from a Senior. Hololive is all about its friendly atmosphere, understand? Pull 1 card from your hand into a waiting room. When this card is placed on the stage from your hand, you may pay the cost. If you do, choose one of your opponent's level 1 or higher characters. Your opponent chooses level X or lower character in a waiting room and exchanges them. X is equal to the level of the character you choose. Okay. Polka or Omaru, Sushi to Reconsider Humanity. You too are a part of me. When this card is placed on the stage from your hand, if your memory has 2 or less cards, you may choose 1 Sushi to Reconsider Humanity in your waiting room and then put it into your memory. Okay. Here's Yakuza Choco as a nurse. Invincible nurse. Do you still want to go? When you use this card's backup, choose 1 card from your level and 1 climax in your waiting room and exchange them. Okay. Nene Rose Momosuzu Nene. Well, Nene Momosuzu. Nene Rose. Yellow, yellow, yellow. Put 1 city lights and the winter streets Yukahana Luni from your memory face up underneath this card as a marker. When this card attacks, you may pay the rest of the cost. If you do, this card gains 1,000 power and plus 2 soul until the end of the turn. Okay, so this is our first Akayu Nekomata card. You know, I just realized that we've been doing the stream so far without the background music. Alright, let's lower that a little bit. Okay. So, this card gains 1,000 power for each other Hololive character in your backstage. A Step Toward the Future, Aki Rose. This card gains 2,000 power for each other A Step Towards the Future, Aki Rose in your center stage. And there's another A Step Towards the Future, Akai Hato. Well, Hato Akai. I've got to remember the surname first rule. If there is a marker underneath this card gains 5,000 power and plus 1 soul. Okay. And so this is, yeah, just another one of those semi-gloss cards. It's called Louis Takane Shelter in a Shared Umbrella. When your character's trigger check reveals 1 climax, if there are no markers underneath this card, you can choose 1 card in your waiting room and then put it face down underneath this card as a marker. Alright. Okay. Hang on, when I was changing stuff, I also put away the chat room. Okay, there we go. And then there's another utility card. This is called Thank You. All of your characters get 1,000 power and plus 1 soul. Alright. Okay. Okay. Darkness La. Tree of Fried Chicken. Yum. Put one Hololive character from your hand into your waiting room. When this card is placed down in your hand, you may pay the card. If you do, search your deck for up to one Secret Society Hollow X. Reveal it to your opponent from your hand, and then shuffle the deck. Okay. Shirakumi Fubuki. Vampire Hunter. You fool. This castle is bait. When this card is placed on the stage on your hand, put the top card on your deck in your waiting room. If it's a climax, switch your deck to up to one Hololive character. Reveal it to your opponent, and put it into your hand. Shuffle your deck. And this card gets gold color until the end of the turn. Alright. So here's Kiara Takamashi. Another A Step Towards the Future card. There's a marker underneath this card. This card gains 3,000 power. When this card is picked up the stage, reveal the top card of your deck. If this card is an event or a Hololive character, you may put it face down underneath this card as a marker. Okay. Ariane... Oh, well, hang on. EO 15 Ayarani. Sorry about that. A Step Towards the Future. If this card level 2 or higher, this gets the following ability. Put one card in your hand into your waiting room and put this card into your waiting room. Choose up to one A Step Towards the Future in your hand and then put it in the stage position that this card was in. Okay. So, this is a Risa. This is an Ayunda Risa card. It has a gold foil signature on it. A Step Towards the Future. When this card is placed on the stage from your hand, you can put the top card of the clock in your waiting room. Yeah. Signature card, rare. Well, it's the first one that I pulled, so I'm going to make the assumption that it's rare. You know, and additionally, since we already know that all of these characters are Japanese, right? So, you know, I don't really know about, you know, the legitimacy of the signature. In the Japanese version of this, you know, they just have their name written in kanji, and that's perfectly fine. Nateri Ayami, A Step Towards the Future. When this card is placed on the stage from your hand, you can choose one card in your level and one card in your waiting room and exchange them. Okay. Here's Shirakami Fubuki. A Step Towards the Future. When this card attacks, this character is level 3 or higher. This card gets 6,000 power until the end of the turn. Okay. Hosho Marine, after playing in the sea, is just literally a card of Marine using the outdoor shower. If you have 4 or more Hololive characters, the card gains 1 level while this card gains 1 level while in your hand. And then finally, the utility card, Shirakami's Secret Base. All of your characters get 1,000 power and 1 soul. I mean, that tends to be what all of the utility cards do. Give your additional characters 1,000 power and 1 soul. And so that works with the level up nature of the game. Alright. Okay. Botan Shishiro, Beyond the Rules. Okay, Q1. When this card is placed on the stage from your hand, if your memory has 4 or less cards, you can choose 1 5th generation character in your waiting room and 1 in your memory. And recharge them. Okay. So, the generation of the Hololive character is also a significant part of this deck strategy. Muscle Brain Stretches by Noel Shirogane. Muscle Brain Stretches, Muscle Brain, Muscle Brain. That's the quote. Assist all of your characters in the front of the card get X power, where X is equal by that character's level times 500. Alright. Shiranui Flare, Counterattack. Okay, I think we've already seen this card. And yeah, this is another Uzura Subaru card as well. So, I'd say about 4 packs in, that we have started to see duplicates. Lami Yukihama, a step towards the future. When this card is placed on this stage from your hand, choose one character in your opponent's backstage with a level higher than your opponent's level. That character combat during your opponent's next stand phase. Okay. Hosho Marine, a step towards the future. Put one other Hololive character from your stage into the waiting room. Put this card placed on the stage from your hand, you can use a cost. If you do, reveal the top card of your deck. If that card is a 3rd generation Hololive and a Hololive character, put it into your hand. Shirogane Noel, taking a bath with you. I mean, she's literally just sitting in a hot spring. There's a marker underneath this card, gets +1 level and 1500 power. Alright, and then the utility, well, 2 utility cards, okay. Midsummer Sun, your characters get 1000 power and 1 soul. And then another Shirakami Secret Base. Alright. Miya Oikami, fighting for the Pawn's Boss mode. I think we've seen this card before. Arachno Trainer Hato Akai. I am the Orient's best narco trainer. Arachno Trainer. When this card is placed on the stage from your hand or put into your waiting room, choose one of your opponent's characters and that character gains the following ability until the end of the next turn. This card cannot move to another position on the stage. Alright. Okay, Roboko-san. This is the first time we've seen Roboko-san. I'll be your opponent. You want to fight, yeah? During your turn, this card gains plus 2000 power. Okay. This is Melfisa Anya, a step towards the future. During your turn, if you have 4 or more other Hololive characters, this card gets 5000 power and the following ability. During this card's battle, your opponent cannot play events or back up from their hand. Okay. Polka Amaru and Core just for 2. Return the card, this card to your hand. When your climax is placed on your character, you may play the card. If you do, place the top card of your deck, put it on the top of your deck or into your waiting room. Choose one of your characters and that character will receive 1500 power until the end of the turn. Okay. Okay. This is the first Kanata Amane, and this is a step towards the future. If you play towards the cost for a Hololive 4th generation in your hand, you may put one marker from underneath your card into the waiting room instead and of one card from your stack. Okay. Here's Koroni Imagure, a step towards the future. If this card is in your memory and you have 2 or more other Hololive characters, Hololive Gamers events gets 1 soul while in your hand. Chu the Night Sky Yuzura Mei Yuzura. This ability activates up to 1 time per turn. When you are on Act, choose one of your Hololive characters and that character gets 1000 power. And then the utility card. On a Twilight Hill, your characters get 1000 power and 1 soul. I mean, so it's interesting that, you know, your level up cards, you know, they just basically have the same ability, but they're nice enough in order to put, you know, completely different types of art on them. Okay. So this is another Arachno Trainer, Hato Akai. This is another Roboko-san, I'll be your opponent. This is another Melfisa Anya, step towards the future. Okay. The Magical Power of Chocolate, Pekora Usada. Go, Pekora! Obviously a Pokemon reference. When this card is placed on the stage from your hand, choose one of your Hololive characters, and that character gets 1500 until the end of the turn. Alright. A gelato for you. So this is a utility card. This one actually has a different effect. When this card is placed on your climax area from your hand, perform this effect. When this card triggers, you may choose one character with a level equal to or less than level 1 and put it in any position on this stage. Okay, so this is also a foil card, and the only other foil card that I've seen so far was a promo card. And, well, okay, I made the mistake of thinking that this was a foil, but that one isn't. But this definitely is. Alright. So, you know, if you can manage to get utility cards that don't do something other than the standard level up, then those are good cards. Okay. Let's see. This was Matsuri Natsuhiro. Step towards the future. If you have 2 or more other Hololive characters, this card gets the following attributes. When this card attacks, choose one of your characters, and that character gets 1500 power until end of turn. Alright. So another Step Towards the Future, Sora Tokino. Okay. So this is another semi-gloss card. This one is Backstreet Lion Botan Senshiro. Put this card from your hand into your memory. Choose one of your characters that is being frontal attacked, and that character gains 1000 power until end of turn. Okay. And this is Both Hands Full of Happiness. Utility card, all of your characters get plus 1000 and 1 soul. Alright. So what do we have here? Usada Pekora, Magical Power of Chocolate. Go Pekora. Oh, actually, yeah, this is probably the exact same card as last time. Okay, this is another Tree of Fried Chicken. This is another Vampire Hunter. Okay, this is another Step Towards the Future, Kiara Tatsumaki. Okay. Himinori Luna, Step Towards the Future. When this card is placed on the stage from your hand, look at the top card of your deck and put it on the back on the bottom of your deck. Okay. This is the first one for Choco Yuzuki, Step Towards the Future. I mean, this is the second card that we pulled from him. This is the first Step from the Future card. When your character's trigger reveals a climax, choose one of your characters, and that character gets 1000 power until the end of the turn. Alright. Here's Sakura Miko, A Step Towards the Future. When this card is placed on the stage from your hand or put into your waiting room from the stage, you can pay the cost if you do. Choose one Hololive character in your waiting room and return it to your hand. Okay. Okay. Rene Pavolia. The time just for the 2 of us. Put one card from your hand to your waiting room. When this card is placed on the stage from your hand, you may pay the cost. If you do, reveal the top card of your deck. Choose one level X or lower character in your waiting room, and then return it to your hand. Okay. And this is another gelato for you. Okay. 1-to-1 fight. Kazama Iroha. Ayama, does your sword have a name? During your turn, your other characters in the middle position get 1500 power. Okay. Matsuri Natsuhiro. Are you feeling fine? And the quote also says, are you feeling fine? When you use this card, at its backup, you can pay the cost if you do. Choose one. Are you feeling fine from your waiting room and then return it to your hand. Okay. Okay. Sakura, well, Miko Sakura. Fishing for the pond's boss monster. I'm coming for you, boss monster. All of your characters get the following ability. This card cannot side attack. Alright. Apology Conference, Sakamate Chloe. So this is the second card that we've seen that was said, Apology Conference. I'm assuming that if you can actually manage to get a row of them, then you can just put them next to each other and use them as blocker cards. For the recent incident in which a mere pirate cosplayer... That's a quote. If you have another Apology Conference in your center stage, this card gains 4,000 power. Okay. Nene Momosuzo, I step towards the future. Put one card from your hand into your waiting room. Put this card into your memory. At the beginning of your climax phase, you may pay the cost if you do. Choose one towards the future together in your waiting room and put it in the stage position that the card was in. Okay. So, here's Shion Murasaki, a step towards the future. All of your second generation characters get X power, where X is equal to the character's level times 500. Okay. Here is Flare Shiranui, a step towards the future. When this card is placed on the stage from your hand, reveal the top card of your deck. If that card is a Hololive character, the card gets 1,000 power until the end of the turn. Okay. Okay. Here's Watami Sumonaki. Okay. Cozy Time with You. During your turn, this card gets 1,000 power for each of your other Hololive characters. And then, utility card, only 2 of us at the beach. Alright. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 packs to open. Alright. Okay. Suisei Hoshimachi, reticent sushi chef. That's a quote. When your climax is placed in your climax area, place one of your characters, and the character gains 2,000 power until the end of turn. Slight changes, Lami Yukihana. I just wanted you to notice. If the character facing this card is equal to 0 lore, this card cannot become discarded. Okay. Hide and Seek Hinamori Luna. We decide when we lose. This card gets 1 level while in the stage. During this turn, this card gets 4,000 power. Okay. Aqua Minato Dig Here Arf. And so the quote is from Korone and says, dig here, Arf. Put 1 climax from your hand during your waiting room. When this card is placed in the stage from your hand, you can pay the cost. If you do, choose 1 Hololive character in your waiting room and then return to your hand. Okay. Tokiyami Toa, clad in pure white. When this card is placed on the stage, you may put the top card of your clock into your waiting room. Okay. So, Darkness Law, hunting fried chicken. Yay, so much fried chicken. Resonate. Put 1 card in your waiting room and reveal 1 a step towards the future. Eat Darkness Law from your hand. Okay. Hashtag Secret Society HoloX. If you have 2 or less secret Society Hollow X characters, this card cannot be played from your hand. Let's see. So Oxy Oxy. Together with you at the beachside town. All of your other Hololive characters get 15,000 power. And then Magic Lesson which is once again 1,000 power and plus 1 card. Alright. Okay. There's another Are You Feeling Fine? Here's another Fishing for the Pond's Boss Monster. Okay, Sakamata Chloe. Okay, yeah, this is a duplicate of the Internet Apology card that was level 1. Okay, another Reticent Sushi Chef. Uzuru Subaru Summer Memories. When the sun shining is placed on your climax area, if you have another Hololive character, this card gains the following abilities until the end of your turn. When this card attacks, you may pay the cost. If you do, then perform a trigger check 2 times on the trigger step. Alright. Chloe, she's an orca. You know, there was a part of me that actually thought Shy Lily was in Hololive. I think I was mistaking her for a Gargura. You know, we're more than half of this pack in, and we haven't seen Gargura just yet, so. Okay, so this is Amelia Watson, A Step Towards the Future. When this card affects, this card gets X power until the end of turn. X is equal to the number of other Hololive characters you get times 1,000. So if I recall that, you know, Amelia Watson is one of the English Hololive characters. And I think that Gargura is as well. I don't know, don't quote me on that. Chloe Sakamata spreading the word. Why don't you join me in being Sakamata? Put one Hololive character from your hand into your waiting room. When this card is put into your waiting room from the stage, you may play the card. If you do, search your deck for A Step Towards the Future, Hello Darkness, or Shelter in a Shared Ultimatum, Louis Takana. Return it to your opponent and then put it into your hand. Okay, this is the first Pekara Usada, Wild Rabbit's Rest Day. At the beginning of your main phase, you can pay the cost. If you can do, reveal the top 3 cards of your deck and shuffle your deck. If there is a climax among these cards, pull up to 2 cards from the top of your deck into your deck. Okay. And here's Comet. I know it's Comet because it says Comet here, Comet here, Comet here. All of your characters get 1,000 power and plus 1 soul. Yeah, Hollow English is Gura, Ame, Kali, Kiara, Ina, Iris, Bales, Mune, Roni, Fauna, and Sana, who's graduated. Alright. They also just revealed Hollow English's Generation 3 the other week. Oh, okay. Okay, another slight changes. Lami Yukihana. A hide and seek, Hibanori Luna. We decide when we lose. This card gains 1 level while on the stage. During your turn, this card gains 4,000 power. Oh, actually, we have seen that one. And speaking of which, there's another Dig Here Arf. I don't know all of them yet. I just know that there's a twin, or a Fuwawa and Mokoko. Okay. Asset management, Aki Rose. But it takes a lot of money, right? When this card is placed in the stage from your hand, put the top 2 cards of your deck to your waiting room. This card gets X power until the end of your opponent's turn, where X is equal to the number of Hololive characters among those cards times 1,000. Okay. Another, let me see. Aqua Minato, A Step Towards the Future. I don't know if we've seen Aqua as one of these cards. This card gets -1 level where your hand, while in your hand. Okay. So, Mio Ukami, A Step Towards the Future. I think we've seen that one. Brainy Paviola, A Step Towards the Future. Place 1 card in your hand into the waiting room. When this card is placed on the stage from your hand, you may pay the cost. If you do, Choose one card, card 0 lower character in your room, and then put it in any position on your stage. Okay. Miko Sakura Half Awake Gaze. When this card is placed on the stage from your hand, you can put the top card of the clock of your clock into the waiting room. Okay. And then repeat this life with you, which is another 1,000. Oh no, actually this one is different. When this card is placed in your climax from your hand. Oh, I know why I've seen it before, because it's the exact same card as the promo card. Silly me. You know. So ipso far, this has been the most striking card of the, in the entire set, and it is one of the utility cards. Another asset management. Okay. Here's Iris, a step towards the future. When this card is placed on the stage from your hand, this gets X power until the end of turn, where X is equal to the number of hololive characters you have. Nakiri Ayame, the boss. If you want to roll with me, you gotta have some drip. Experience. If you have 0 blue card in your level, this card gains 3,000 power. Shion Murasaki, the Last Supper. Anything goes as long as I'm with you all. During your opponent's turn, this card gets 1,000 power for each other hololive character in your backstage. Okay. Toa Tokiyama, a step towards the future. All of your other hololive characters get 1,000 power. When this card is placed on the stage from your hand, you can choose a hololive character in your waiting room and put it face down underneath this card. Okay, Iroha Kazama, a step towards the future. When this card's level 2 or higher, battle opponent becomes inert, you can put the top card from your deck in your hand. Alright. Botan Shishiro, a step towards the future. Oh, when you take a moment, you should check out the general chat. I will after I look at these 2 cards. Okay, Botan Shishiro, a step towards this feature. When this card is placed on the stage from your hand, put the top 3 cards of your deck in your waiting room. If there's a climax among these cards, you may choose a level 3 lower character. Alright. Sarasvana, a step towards the future. All your other hololive characters get plus 500 power. Put 1 Keeper of Nature. At the beginning of the step, you can pay the cost. If you do, look at the top 4 cards from your deck, choose up to 1 event or a hololive character from among them. Reveal it to your opponent, put it in your hand, and put the rest in your waiting room. Okay. And this is both hands full of happiness, so that's 1,000 and plus 1 attack. Alright. So, looking at the general chat in my Discord. Here's Brainy in the all nominees section of the credits. Hidden Gems Small VTuber Awards 2023. Oh, you know what? Let's pull this up and let's watch it on screen. Hold on a second. I mean, it was just like a small amount of, you know, the all nominees section of the VTuber Awards, if I'm not mistaken. All right. You know. Ah, yes, when you've got a moment, you should check out the general chat. Yeah, it's over an hour and some change long. Well, yeah, it would be, because it's the whole award ceremony. Hang on a second. Totally not the window I wanted to put that in. All right. You know, just kind of being a VTuber has been, you know, it has been a really surreal experience, because I don't tend not to have a lot when it comes to, you know, just like numbers and number popularity, that sort of thing. But I have an enormous amount of, retweets and follows and mutual Twitch streams and little rewards that are just exactly like this one. Let's see. So we're just looking for the section of the credits, and so, well, I'm just skimming across the timeline here. And so, there's a lot of people were nominated, and, they all did a fantastic job. But Hidden Gem, Small VTuber Awards. Brooke. So Alara got one of those. That's really interesting. So Alara is probably one of the most popular people just in my circulation and my set. So let's go ahead and let's look at this credits section. I get to see, there I am. There I am. There's my name. Abigail Croc is in here. Pink Kitty Rose. Acetone. So we're going through the A's at this point, and the A's are just in the left column. Since I know that I was in the left column from the screenshot, that I know that's eventually going to turn into the B's. Prism's playing. Professor Bloom, I'm just looking at all the names I recognize. Putty Putty Princess. So I don't know how it happened, or I don't know who did it, but I got in the all nominees category. I'm operating on the assumption that Devin did it. That's why he knows that I'm here. Bingo Bippo is here. Black Cat is here. I've actually been going over it for a while the last two to just to see everyone I recognize. Oh, well. Yeah, it's just that last chapter, the big old chunk there. So we're up to B-O. We need to be, there's Banicula. We're up to, so we need to get down to the B-R. Oh, you know what? I only just passed it. One fatal overclick. Yeah, so just towards the end of the, oh, there's Blythe. Okay, so, it's great to be, yeah, and so stop right about here. Okay, there's my name. Right here. Brainy the RPG Cat. So, like I said, I don't know who nominated me, but thank you so much for doing so. I mean, the Hidden Gem Small VTubers Award is really, nothing to sneeze at. And, my heart goes out to the people, oh, you did nominate me and a few others, but I didn't know if there was a threshold minimum. Well, I mean, technically there was, because, people still voted on the higher amounts of nominees, but it was really nice of them to, just provide a nomination list altogether. So, thank you, Devin, for nominating me. And Marin Mermaid made it too. I wonder if she was in the last column. Maybe that's where the M column started. But anyways, thank you so much for that. I mean, like I said, it's a real honor to be put together in a list of my peers in recognition of the Small VTuber Awards. All right, so where was I? Have to turn off the window. Okay, there we are. Okay, so We have 3 packs left. Yeah, middle column alphabetical. Yeah. But, you know, they do alphabetical in 3 columns, which means, yeah, then the people that are, like, Q through Z are in the final panel. All right. Okay, so this one is Iris, A Step Towards the Future. I think we've already seen that one. This is Ayami Nakiri Boss. This is The Last Supper, Murasaki Shion. This is Botan Shishiro, Beyond the Rules. When this card is placed on the stage from your hand, if your memory has 4 or less cards, you can choose one 5th generation character in your waiting room and then put it in your memory and then exchange them. Okay. Ooh, this is probably the other full foil card that I've run into. This is Shiranui Flare, an Elf's Tea Party. And I think we've seen this version of this card, it's just, we just haven't seen the foil of it. If this is in your deck, this card gets 1 level while in your hand. Okay. Roboco-san, A Step Towards the Future. Okay. All of your level 3 or higher characters in front of this card get plus 2,000 power. Hoshinova Muna, A Step Towards the Future. When this card is placed on the stage from your hand, if you have other Hololive characters, this card gets plus 2,000 power until the end of the turn. It's alphabetical. Was it foil before? No, it wasn't foil before. I just think that we've seen the card. All right. Here's another Kurone. This one is Kurone Inagami Morning Greetings. If you have 2 or more Hololive gamers in your waiting room, this card has 1 level 1 in your hand. And this one is Keeper of Nature. Once again, 1,000 power and 1 soul. Okay. You know, I do believe that this is a foil too. I don't want to become too desensitized to the foil. Well, you know, it's not even necessarily that that card is a foil or that this card is a foil. They're just really, really super gloss. Well, I would actually still say that this one is more of a foil than this card is. All right. This is the penultimate pack. Iridescent. Perhaps. Okay. So this is an EO15 Ariani, A Step Towards the Future card. If your level is 2 or higher, this character gets the following ability. Put 1 card from your hand into your waiting room. Put this card into your waiting room. Choose up to 1 other A Step from the Future Risu cards in your hand. Put it in a stage in the position that this card was in. Okay. Yozora Mary, Property Search. I am the executive real estate master, Sui-chan. Do you really have one that would meet my standards? This card cannot side attack. This ability activates up to 1 frame per turn when you use it as an act. This card gains 1,500 power and the following ability until end of turn. When this card's battle opponent becomes inert, you can put this character into your opponent's stock. If you do, put the bottom card into your opponent's stack into their waiting room. Okay. Louis Takane, Methods for Success. If the professor says it, it must be true. This card gets 1,000 power for each Hololive character in your backstage. When this card attacks, you have 2 or more other Hololive characters. Look at the top 2 cards from the top of your deck. Choose 1 card from among them. Put it on the top of your deck, and then put the rest into your waiting room. Alright. Koyori Hakui. Research result. Say your prayers, esteemed senpai. When you use this card's backup, choose 1 of your characters in battle, and that character gets a following ability. When this card's battle opponent becomes inert, put that character into your opponent's memory. Okay. Here's Polka Omaro, A Step Towards the Future. If you have 2 or more other Hololive characters, this card gets plus 2,000 power. A Step Towards the Future, Oro Kuruni. Well, Kuruni Oro. Put 1 card in your hand from your waiting room when this card is placed on the stage from your hand. You may pay the cost. If you do, return all cards from your waiting room and to your deck and then shuffle your deck. Okay. Here's another Picoro, A Step Towards the Future card. This one is lining up the pillows side by side with Oro Kuroni. Kuroni Oro. I think we've seen this card type before. I don't think we saw it with this character. And during your turn, all your characters are Hololive. This card gains +1 level and 1,500 power. Alright. And so then this one is Meanwhile in Another World. All your characters get 1,000 power and 1 card. Alright. Yeah, some of them are super glossy, but it's really easy to distinguish. Yeah. Okay, so this is the final pack. Alright. Let's see. Inanes, A Step Towards the Future. She seems to be an octopus. She just has an enormous amount of tentacles directly behind her. During your turn, if all your characters are Hololives, this card gets 2,000 power. Otami Tsukumaki, famous producer. That's my Kankans. If you would put Hololive characters from your hand into your waiting room or the effect, you can put this card from your hand into your waiting room instead of 2 Hololive characters. Okay. This is probably only the second time that we've seen Okayo. Okayo Nekomata, Rice Ball Bartender. I'll have the usual. When you use this card as backup, put the bottom X cards of your opponent into their waiting room. X is equal to the number of Hololive characters that you have. Alright. Iroha Kazama 1-to-1 fight. Does your sword have a name? Yeah, we've seen that one. Okay. Louis Takame, A Step Towards the Future. I think we've seen that one. Noel Shirogame, A Step Towards the Future. Hoshimachi Sensei, well, Suisei Hoshimachi, A Step Towards the Future. And then this is a semi-foil card. The entirety of it is glossy, but then there's just little glitter spots that are made out of foil. And this is probably the only second Amelia Watson card that we've seen. When this card is put into your waiting room, you can reveal up to 3 cards from the top of your deck. If you revealed 1 or more cards, choose up to 1 card with Soul in its trigger. Among those cards, put it into your hand and put the rest into your waiting room. Alright. Well, I regret that, I pulled 2 Amelia Watsons, but no Garguras, but, I guess really just not all that much representative of English Hololive in this. And then Waking Up Together with 1,000 power and gets you 1,000 power and 1 soul. Alright, so really, once again, let me take a moment to pull out the highlights here. This was fun. This was, it's a great looking deck, and it really just kind of speaks to, the overall progression that VTubing has become, It's hard to tell, whether or not it's going to gain in popularity. I still have yet to see anything, involving Weiss Schwartz, reveal itself amongst the people who are regularly playing TCGs. But at the card store. But it's really great to have this set. I might look into potentially creating a binder for this and seeing if I can collect a full set, which might take some doing, but it might be worth it just to say that I'm the only one who has a complete collection of Hololive White Schwartz cards. And, there were some very good looking cards. And so I'm personally very surprised at this because, given that, I've already stated that all the previous White Schwartz cards are usually just made from screenshots from television. There is a significant amount of original art in this, The only time they seem to be slightly lazier is whenever they made a screenshot of they used one of the screenshots from one of the VR chat or live 3D meetings, but other than that, every single one of these, does actually have some pretty good original art. I mean, it's a credit to the fact that, HoloLive is a agency. It's a representative agency. So as a representative agency, they just have the ability to retain a whole bunch of artists to draw the HoloLive characters all of the time. And a lot of these cards tend to fall into sets that, just sets of, waking up next to characters, characters doing fun things. Every single one of the Step Towards the Future cards, which I assume is just a slogan for HoloLive. And, one or two cards that, seem to be part of a different theme, but, still, just kind of seem to be general enough that, that they still kind of significantly made it into the deck. But I digress. I forget specifically what point I was supposed to have been making. But anyways, thank you everybody once again for tuning in to Brainy the RPG Cat. I remain Brainy the RPG Cat. Usually I do have other sponsors to plug, but I do want to, just put an additional emphasis on any card opening streams that we get all of our cards for All Seas Collectibles. All Seas Collectibles, one of the Denver metro area's most prominent collectibles, comic books, and trading card stores. And we also have a really good Facebook community, as you can join the Facebook community and converse with us when it comes to all things collectibles. And you can also watch the All Seas Collectibles podcast every Thursday at 4:20 p.m. Mountain Standard Time. So thank you, everybody, for tuning in. I'm going to take a moment and I am going to do a raid. Let me see. Who would I like to pay a visit to right now? I think I would like to go to... He's playing Dark and Darker. Still, Cosmos is playing Baldur's Gate. Power Nelson is doing art. Oh, actually, Merry Mermaid is on. Let's go ahead and watch her. As she plays more Learn Japanese to Survive Hiragana Battle. So, thank you everybody for tuning in. I am going to be back this Saturday. Well, no, actually, I'm going to be back tomorrow evening. And we are going to be playing something that I think has been asked for a while. We're going to do our first playthroughs of Baldur's Gate 3. So, thank you everybody once again for tuning in. Remember, BRANY means smart. Nothing's too hard if you use your head. Always be the change that you want to see in the world. Thank you everybody for tuning in. Have a good night, everybody.